Hello everyone and welcome to the 7-year celebration of JRP. Thanks to the support of viewers like you, we've been able to stick around for this long. I was going back and forth on what to make for the celebration today, but I decided to give, instead of a silly skit, a chance for you to learn more about me. So JRP presents Draw My Life. So let me take you back all the way to when I turned 14. It was a significant day, but I wouldn't realize this until much later. It was significant because that was the day I got my first computer, and the start of a wonderful hobby to come. Now from August to November 2010, I didn't make anything you would consider a production on my computer. I just used it to store stuff and play games. But in December of that same year, I made my first quote-unquote movie. It was just a slideshow of pictures I had taken from various places that month, mostly Christmas themed of course. A slideshow was as simple as it got, but of course this was my first production. Over the next 2 months, January to February 2011, I made a few more similar slideshows, but then, in March, the true magic began. I made my first ever movie, Sherlock Holmes Jr. and the Attack of the No-Shirt Guys. It was a 50-minute production, my second biggest ever as of yet, so it was quite a way to start off JRP. That's why we celebrated March 2011, since my first movie was then. For that first movie, I produced it very differently than I do now. There was only one camera angle at the time, usually only one unchanging per scene. There was no music, and of course it only starred me and my sister Rebecca. Originally we made it 3 smaller movies, but then they tied in so well I just put them all together. Fun fact, we actually filmed the final part first, second part second, and the first part last. That was back in the day when we actually didn't do scripts, so I was just figuring out the story as I went along, just had it in my head. I would communicate the idea of the scene to my sister and the end goal, and we pretty much would just wing it through the middle. We actually did this process multiple times through my early movies at JRP. Luckily, I've since improved. A few months later, in July, I started my first sci-fi movie, Star Wars vs. Star Trek. It was our first movie that took place mostly outside, and for the weapons in the movie, we used my collectible Force Effects lightsaber. Biggest drawback in this movie was that we didn't have stage lights, so you couldn't see a thing. At this early point, I was making videos only on a non-regular basis, and I didn't have a YouTube channel at that point either. I would just share my movies through DVDs. Wasn't sure what my plans were for the future at that point regarding this, and I was just trying to make movies whenever I thought of them. Sequels to these movies followed, as well as new ideas, all of which took place in my house or backyard. In those sequels is when we added my longest and most loyal cast member aside from my sister, Justin. To this day, most of my movies usually involve him, me, or Rebecca, or all 3 of us. In September 2013, my YouTube channel was born. Initially, it was something else entirely, basketball tutorials for a class I was teaching. But in a few months, I started to post some of my previous movies, started to experiment with many new things, more and better cameras, more actors, and a brand new experience for me, scripts. Definitely took a lot more effort, but it was worth it to get the exact story I was looking for. I think my best production so far has been the 2016 movie Sherlock Holmes 7. A 52-minute movie, it was my biggest JRP movie ever, and it really took its time to explain all the aspects of the story within, and with 9 cast members, there wasn't much I had to hold back. After this movie, I really started to post way more often, about 3 times a week or more. I had previously stuck to movies, but now I added new shows, such as JRP Vlogs, where I covered the personal aspect of my life. Later on, I added JRP Music and JRP Game Center, giving me a chance to explore my respective music and gaming capabilities. At that time in March 2016, I only had 30 subscribers, and most of those were family. But as I started to post more often, less than a year later, I had 100 subscribers by September 2017. My latest movie was the fall 2017 film Paradox, where we used a bunch of new things in it, like amazing CGI, a brand new actor, Nate, and completely filmed on location. It was definitely one of my top 10 best films. As the years go by, people get more busy, and that's forced me to reschedule many of my productions. But be patient guys, it's worth the wait. It's been quite a journey through those 7 years of JRP, and don't be fooled by the shortness of some videos that there isn't much happening behind the scenes. I wake up every morning thinking about what I can film next, and I look forward to our next movie, Paradox 2 Conundrum. I want to give my cast a special shout out though. Terry, known for Star Wars vs. Star Trek 6, Riley, known from the 3 Inspector Sauerkraut movies, Nate, of course from the Paradox movie, Brandon, also from the Star Wars vs. Star Trek movies, and also some actors that had some quick cameos such as Alice and Liana, my dad, and my uncle. Of course, I would be amiss if I didn't once again thank Justin and Rebecca, who have been pretty much in every movie ever. I also want to mention Rhett Jackson and John Riggs for being some JRP superfans. Stay tuned, guys. Above all, thank you, viewer, for being a part of this awesome 7-year experience here at JRP, and I look forward to creating the amazing content that we'll watch together for years to come. Until next time, guys, peace.